Hello everyone, my name is Tori May and this video will explore the intuitive Orton app. When you're here on our main page, you can review all of my tutoring services and read some reviews. We'll navigate to the app by clicking App in the upper right-hand corner. You will then be prompted to sign in using Google or by creating your own account, and then you'll be on our main page. This main page will be your navigation deck where you can look at your previous assessments, your student data, or use our live whiteboard feature. Today, we'll start off with how to do your Getting Started assessment. You can click New Assessment on the top left or in the middle of your screen. If you're familiar with the Orton-Gillingham practices, you know that every single student starts off with a reading sounds and a spelling sounds assessment, so you know how to guide your instruction in your future lessons. So that's what we're going to do here, and we're going to set up our assessment. You can do that in 3 different ways. You can first choose the basic category, and then choose by groups of sounds, such as consonants, blends, or basic short vowels. You can see what you've selected by clicking on the shopping cart, scrolling through, and removing any that might not apply for your group of students. Click the Deselect All Sounds button by clicking Deselect All Sounds. If you're familiar with the MSR reading cohort and the process of becoming Orton-Gillingham certified, you can click on MSR. To review all of the MSR 1 sounds, we'll be loading the MSR 2 sounds as soon as we can. And lastly, the most diagnostic and prescriptive way, you can customize your own reading sounds and spelling sounds assessment by typing in any sound that you like, selecting it, which will add it to your shopping cart. For this example, we're going to do basic short vowels and our long vowels. Next, you can select a student or create. So today we'll create a student, and I will also choose an icon. Once you've created your student or selected from the drop-down list, you have to decide how your student is going to view their card pack. Are they going to scan this QR code with their device? Are you going to copy that link to your clipboard and paste it into a Zoom chat or a Google Classroom link? Or for this example, we'll do a side-by-side view. You could also use this if you have a second monitor or a second device connected to the device you're using to score their work. So I'm going to pop out this window and do a side-by-side to show you how that looks. Students will see the Waiting for Teacher screen. Teachers will just scroll down to the bottom and click Start Assessment. As soon as you begin the assessment, students are given their sound and hopefully should say the 2 sounds that this letter makes, which would be A and A. If so, you'll click Automatic for both. For this next sound, let's say they get this completely wrong. They don't say and they don't say E. Those would both be incorrect. And for this next one, we have some type of partial response. For example, if you click partial, did they hesitate? Maybe they self-corrected, or they had a mispronunciation. They added an extra sound in there. Or maybe it was all 3. Maybe it was a combination for this one, and a combination for our last one. When your students have completed their reading sounds, again, they'll be prompted with Waiting for Teacher as you decide how they will use the live spelling whiteboard or if you will use pen and paper. If using the live spelling whiteboard, this will automatically turn into their whiteboard to use. Hopefully they're using a touchscreen device, and you'll click Begin. Because it's a touchscreen device, students would rotate this 90 degrees so it looks as you have here on your teacher window with that darker line on the bottom. This will give students room to drop down certain letters appropriately. You'll give the prompt, say and write the sound A, Students will hopefully say and write ah correctly. We can see what they're doing and even the handwriting formation that is going on during the assessment. Next, say and write the sound U, and maybe a student makes a mistake. That would be incorrect. Say and write the sound I, and the student gets it correct, automatic. I, and again, let's pretend this was correct, but as you can see here, they went from the bottom to the top and then made that dot, so that would be partial because of letter formation, and so on. And maybe this one was again incorrect. But do you know what? Then they self-corrected. So we can give a partial and a self-correction. We'll pretend that the rest were correct. And I have a space to write some notes. When you're done with the assessment, you are given their scores automatically. Let's move to just that teacher view so we can see what else we have here. You'll be able to see your student's name and the date of the assessment. You can also edit either of these if need be. You can see their assessment mastery from this current assessment, as well as their overall mastery, which is at 1% right now. That's because overall mastery will include all of the sounds in the English language, not just the sounds you've tested here. For this example, I'm toggled on reading. We tested 10 sounds, 3 were automatic, 4 were partial, and 3 were incorrect. We only take the partial and automatic sounds to test in spelling. So we have only 7 tested here for spelling, 4 automatic, 2 partial, 1 incorrect, and 3 that were skipped. Again, that skipping is because if it was not mastered or partial for reading, we won't test it for spelling. And that's your quick 1-minute view of how they did on their assessment. If you go up to the top and click PDF report, let's take a look at what you're given. Your PDF report is a multi-page report that you can give to families or parents or use for your own data keeping. It has those 2 lovely charts that we just explored from the 1-minute view, as well as your notes. We then have a summary table here on the left-hand side, which is a great quick view at what you need to teach, what is automatic, what is partial. And then we have our detailed view on the right-hand side here, where we have every single sound, that level of sound, if it was automatic, partial, or incorrect, and why, so that you can really adjust your instruction to meet the needs of your student. Heading back to our main page, let's take a look at the Assessments tab. Here is where I can see every single assessment that I've done with all of my students, and I can go back and view that 1-minute look that we just explored. If I click on Students, I can go into each of my individual students and see all of their assessments in one space. So for this example, we'll go into Anna Gillingham's. And I can see that I have given 3 different assessments. I can view the overall scores only. I can review just the reading and see that growth. By hovering over the data points, I can see the amount of sounds that were mastered. Or I could see just spelling or a combination of all 3. Heading back to our main page, you also have an option to use your live whiteboard at any time. So if this is a feature you're finding handy for your tutoring students, I think it's lovely when you are doing virtuals. You can have your Zoom screen up and have your student use a stylus and an iPad or a stylus and a touchscreen smartphone and scan that QR code, toggled on teacher, to be able to use that whiteboard at any time. If you toggle to teacher here, you as the teacher will be able to view what your student is writing simply by scanning the QR code and letting them use your current touchscreen device. Last feature I'll review is on our homepage. We do have a number of tools for you to give us feedback, such as suggest a feature, report an issue, or give feedback. And here in the middle of our screen, we do have a blog. If you click on Read Now, you'll be brought to our blog. And if you click on the little lamp in the upper right-hand corner, you can kind of blur out all of that noise on the edges and just do some reading. By navigating to the top left, we can bring you back to our main page here. If you have any questions or any suggestions for us, please reach out.